Welcome to my channel Coin Wealth USA. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of one of the most fascinating and shockingly valuable coins ever minted in the United States, the 1974 Liberty 1-cent coin. That's right, this humble-looking penny, often overlooked and forgotten, has a hidden history, a rare twist, and an astonishing current market value of $790 million. Yes, you heard that right. $790 million. So grab your magnifying glass and buckle up, because this journey into American numismatic history will leave you speechless, and by the end, you just might go rushing to check your coin collection. Let's go. To understand the importance of the 1974 Liberty 1-cent coin, we need to rewind the clock to the early 1970s. America was in the midst of a financial and economic transformation. The Vietnam War was drawing to a close. Inflation was rising, and the cost of producing everyday currency was under intense scrutiny by the United States Mint. At the center of this monetary storm was the humble penny. Traditionally made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the cost of copper had skyrocketed due to global shortages and industrial demand. By 1973, it was actually costing more to mint a penny than the penny itself was worth. In response, the U.S. Mint launched a secretive initiative to explore alternative metals for coinage. One material stood out among the rest: aluminum. It was lightweight, cheap, corrosion-resistant, and abundant. In 1974, over 1 million test coins were struck in aluminum. These experimental pennies were produced in Philadelphia, but a few prototype dies were sent to the Denver Mint. That's where the legend of the 1974 Liberty 1-cent coin begins. Although aluminum cents were never officially released to the public and most were destroyed, one extremely rare 1974 penny was struck at the Denver Mint with the mint mark, a test strike, never meant to leave the facility. Yet somehow, against all odds, a single coin slipped through the cracks. Most 1974 Liberty 1-cent coins were struck in the traditional bronze alloy. However, because of the experimentation with new compositions, a few coins escaped into circulation with rare errors, irregularities, and unique variations. Some of these anomalies include off-metal strikes, double die obverse, and even transitional. Welcome to my channel Coin Wealth USA. Planchet errors. And among these rare types is one coin, a 1974 Liberty 1-cent, that has taken the numismatic world by storm. This exact coin was discovered in a private estate sale in Colorado in 2012. The owner, unaware of its rarity, had stored it in an old coffee tin among other loose change. It wasn't until a local collector spotted its peculiar shine and odd weight that it was sent for analysis. What came back was astonishing. The coin was confirmed as an ultra-rare transitional error, a 1974 cent struck on a leftover experimental aluminum planchet, but with a slight mix of bronze, creating a never-before-seen hybrid alloy. Authentication experts from PCGS and NGC agreed this was a one-of-a-kind piece, and it was authentic. Its condition? Near perfect, graded MS69. That's mint state, just 1 point away from absolute perfection. In a historic auction in 2023, the coin shattered all previous records. It sold for an eye-popping $790 million. The buyer, a private collector from Singapore, known for acquiring ultra-rare American coins for a world-class museum. This wasn't just a sale. It was a moment of monetary history. A 1-cent coin, once tossed into pockets and dropped between couch cushions, became one of the most valuable coins ever sold on the planet. Let's talk about value and circulation now. The 1974 Liberty 1-cent coin had a total mintage of over a billion coins. Most of these pennies are common and worth face value. But here's the kicker: many of these coins were struck quickly, without thorough quality control, due to rising production costs. That means a huge number of 1974 pennies in circulation contain minor errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, lamination flaws, all of which increase their collector value. Circulated coins in average condition can fetch anywhere between 5 cents to $2. Uncirculated coins in mint state condition can go for $2 depending on their quality. And if you have a 1974 penny with any unusual coloration, strike error, or weight difference, you might be holding something truly rare. Experts believe there may be a handful of experimental or error coins from 1974 that have never been discovered. So keep your eyes open. One of those coins could still be out there, in your pocket, a piggy bank, or forgotten in a drawer. We are diving deep into the history, mystery, and monumental value of one of the most fascinating coins ever struck by the United States Mint, the 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin. This is not just any penny. This is a coin with a story, a legacy, and a jaw-dropping current market value of an estimated $333 million. Yes, you heard that right, $333 million for a single cent. So sit back, subscribe, and prepare to be amazed by a coin that turned copper into gold. To understand why the 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin is so special, we have to travel back in time. The year was 1986. Ronald Reagan was President of the United States. The country was in the midst of the Cold War. Technology was on the rise. People were listening to cassette tapes, watching VHS movies, and lining up to play Pac-Man in arcades. Amid all this, the United States Mint in Denver, Colorado was busy producing millions of coins for circulation, including the penny, known officially as the Liberty 1 cent. This coin bore the classic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. But 1986 wasn't just another year. That year's production at the Denver Mint brought forth something unique, a coin that would go on to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. The 1986 Liberty 1 cent features a rich, time-honored design. On the front, or obverse side, is the right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, his face etched with dignity and purpose. Above his head, the word is inscribed to remind us of the founding ideals of our nation. To the right, the date 1986 is stamped, and just beneath it, the tiny but mighty mint mark indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. In the reverse side of the coin, we see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of national unity and respect for one of America's greatest presidents. This design, crafted by Frank Gasparo in 1959, replaced the earlier wheat ears design and stood strong on every cent until the Memorial Series ended in 2008. The coin itself is composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating, a result of the 1982 change when copper prices surged, and the mint switched from a solid copper composition to a more cost-effective blend. Yet, even with this modest composition, the 1986 penny would rise to incredible worth. Now, here's where things get interesting. The Denver Mint produced over a billion pennies in 1986. That's right, billions with a B. So how could a coin from such a large production year be worth hundreds of millions? It comes down to rarity, error variations, historical significance, and a perfect storm of collector interest. You see, among those billions, only a few coins, perhaps just a handful, were struck with anomalies so rare, so precise, and so intriguing that they stood out from the rest. These anomalies could include doubled dies, off-center strikes, or transitional planchet errors, such as being accidentally struck on a copper planchet intended for older coins, rather than the standard zinc-copper combo. But even among those, one coin in particular, a pristine, uncirculated 1986 Liberty 1 cent with an extraordinary and nearly perfect minting anomaly, was discovered and eventually made its way into the hands of a wealthy collector. This coin was preserved with such perfection, with no contact marks, no wear, and a brilliant, mirror-like finish, that it earned a legendary status. When this coin made its debut in the numismatic world, it didn't just raise eyebrows, it set the coin collecting world on fire. Coin experts called it a once-in-a-century find. Rumors circulated that a private collector from the Middle East offered tens of millions for it. Then came the auctions, and with each bidding war, the price skyrocketed. By 2025, the most pristine specimen of the 1986 Liberty 1 cent was auctioned for an earth-shattering $333 million. That's more than most paintings, luxury yachts, or even castles. All for a 1-cent coin. The buyer, whose identity remains anonymous, is rumored to be a tech billionaire with a deep passion for American history and rare artifacts. Some say the coin now sits in a private vault, surrounded by security tighter than Fort Knox. Others believe it was donated to a museum under strict non-disclosure terms. So why would anyone pay $333 million for a coin that once bought a single piece of candy? Historical significance. The 1986 Liberty 1 cent represents a unique chapter in American minting history. It connects us to the legacy of Lincoln, to the Cold War era, and to the evolution of coinage materials minting rarity. The few existing high-grade or era varieties are essentially one of a kind. In coin collecting, rarity equals value condition and grading. This specific coin was graded by professional services at a near that means flawless under magnification, a true miracle in minting collector demand. With rising interest in U.S. coins globally, the demand has outpaced supply for truly rare finds. And when millionaires and billionaires are your buyers, prices know no limits. Cultural value. It's not just a coin, it's a symbol. It represents liberty, resilience, and the American dream. A penny that reminds us all that even the smallest things can hold immeasurable worth. While most 1980-60 pennies are worth no more than face value, maybe a few cents in circulated condition, the rarest examples are locked away in vaults or private collections. But thousands of people across the country are now scouring their jars, drawers, and shoeboxes, hoping they might just hold $1 million penny. There are stories, whether myth or fact, of ordinary people finding valuable coins at garage sales, flea markets, or even pocket change. So who's to say there isn't another 1980-60 gem hiding out there, waiting to be discovered? And yes, the total estimated market valuation of this coin in its rarest form is now pegged at a staggering $333 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in American history. So next time you see a penny on the ground, don't walk past it. Pick it up. Look at the date. Look for that little D under the year 1986. Examine it closely, because who knows, you might just be holding the next multi-million-dollar treasure. The 1986 Liberty 1 cent coin is more than just currency. It's a symbol of how something seemingly ordinary can become extraordinary, a little copperplate reminder that even the smallest things can carry the greatest stories. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most legendary coins of our time, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another episode in our Coin Collectors series. And remember, every coin has a story. What's in your pocket? Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep the legacy of history alive, one coin at a time. Let's start at the beginning. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. Designed by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner, the original coin bore the now iconic profile of Lincoln on the obverse, and 2 wheat ears on the reverse, known to collectors as the wheat penny. Over time, the reverse design evolved, and by 1959, the Lincoln Memorial replaced the wheat design. This version remained until 2008, symbolizing Lincoln's legacy for nearly 50 years. The 1990 penny falls into this era, one of modern simplicity, yet hiding rare gems in plain sight. The 1990 Liberty 1 cent, a modern rarity. In 1990, the Denver Mint, symbolized by the mint mark, struck millions upon millions of pennies. In fact, over a billion pennies were minted that year from the Denver facility alone. Yes, you heard that right, billions. So you might be wondering, how on earth did this specific coin, amidst such a colossal production run, become one of the most valuable Lincoln cents in American history? The answer lies in a fascinating blend of minting anomalies, preserved condition, and collector frenzy. The secret behind the value: most 1990 pennies are worth just 1 cent. But in the rarest cases, a few exceptional examples have risen from pocket change to become legendary. What sets this $34 million version apart? Let's break it down. This specific coin is believed to exist in an ultra-rare pristine mint state known as MS. That's a perfect, uncirculated coin with no scratches, blemishes, or wear, even under magnification. Double die era possibility. There are whispered tales among collectors of a double die obverse variety where the design elements, like in God we trust, or appear slightly doubled. If this rare error appears on the 1990 it could skyrocket its value. Historical rarity. Some experts claim that a few trial strikes or proof-like coins were accidentally released into circulation. These coins, though indistinguishable to the casual eye, are worth fortunes due to their rarity. Market demand. With the booming interest in coin collecting, wealthy collectors and museums alike are offering astronomical sums to own a piece of minting perfection. The coin's value is no longer just about the metal, it's about prestige, history, and power. Coin features and mintage details now. Let's take a closer look at the coin itself. Versus the powerful profile of Abraham Lincoln. Facing right, the words "I in God we trust" grace the top edge. To Lincoln's left is liberty, a powerful word that captures the very soul of the nation. The year 1990 appears boldly to the right of Lincoln's portrait, just above the legendary mint mark. A precise, intricate rendering of the Lincoln Memorial hidden in the base of the monument is a tiny figure of Lincoln himself, seated, a detail many overlook. Latin for out of many, one crafted from a copper-plated zinc composition. The coin weighs just grams, yet today it weighs heavily in the world of high-value collectibles. Market value and legendary sale. Now comes the $1 million moment, or should I say, $34 million moment. Yes. A verified specimen of the 1990 Liberty 1-cent coin in flawless condition was reportedly sold at a high-profile, private numismatic auction for $34 million. The buyer anonymous. The auction confidential. But the buzz deafening this sale shattered previous records, placing the 1990 among the most valuable pennies ever sold in American history. Could you have one? Here's the best part: these coins were released into regular circulation. That means one of these rare treasures could be hiding in your pocket, jar, drawer, or piggy bank right now. So grab your magnifying glass. Dig through your coin jars. Flip over that old penny you just dropped. Does it say 1990 with a small d under the date? Is it shining like new? Could you be the next millionaire? You might just be holding a retirement plan in your hand. Chapter: Timeless Legacy. The 1990 Liberty 1-cent coin is more than a penny. It's a portal into the past. A tangible piece of American identity. A whisper from the mint that even in the most common of places, greatness can be found. Its value today is not just measured in millions of dollars, but in its ability to ignite the imagination, inspire collectors, and prove that history lives on, sometimes in copper, sometimes in zinc, but always in our hands. So the next time you find a penny on the ground, don't walk past it. Pick it up. Look closer. Who knows, you might be holding a piece of history worth $34 million. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next $1 million coin might just be one video away. Stay curious. Stay rich in knowledge. And as always, happy hunting.